as reported by the attorney for 3 police officers, Ulrich Skerritt, and 13 people said no, 3 people said yes. So 13 said yes, it was, well, 3 said yes, it was biased, 13 said no, it was not. All right? I think also in that report of the PCA, they recommended, one of the recommendations of the PCA was to interview under caution certain police officers involved in the shooting death of Jills, adding that in this way, the PCA would comply with the principles of natural justice and due process without delay. So that's what the PCA is saying. Of course, the PCA was accused by Ulrich Skerritt, the attorney for 3 of the officers, of not interviewing his 3 officers. But one of the recommendations of the PCA is that they should be interviewed under caution. I don't know what that means. The legal people and of course the police officers would know what that means, right? But that's what they recommended, right? So 13 people said no, it's not biased. 3 people said yes. All right, that's our poll for today. Of course, in the news also, I don't know if you all have been following international news. COVID, the COVID has not gone away, and as a matter of fact, it's increasing in the Americas and some parts of Asia and so on. It's the percentages have been increasing recently, in recent times, right? So please pay attention to that. I saw it. Where did I read it? I read it this morning, and I said, "Wow, this thing really is. People really has been taking this COVID thing for granted, right?" But that's what's been happening. And I also saw a post, I don't know if you guys saw it, where they asked Donald Trump a question about the war and how he would have treated with it. I said, no, that has to be fake. If I find it, I'll read it. But in international news too, Judge Ketanji Brown has been sworn in America on the Supreme Court. I think that swearing came yesterday. And I swear that the person was reading the oath of office for Judge Brown to repeat was deliberately trying to trip her up. I swear. When I'm listening to it, I said, what are they doing? Why? Because when you're doing an oath of office, you don't read three of the lines of the oath, 3 to 4 of the lines of the oath for somebody to repeat. You know, you give at least 2 lines, and in some cases 1 line, I think, but he was reading several of the lines for her to repeat, and she did trip up at one point in time. You understand? I said, oh, listen to that, and I'm saying, wow. Anyway.
All right, so join us. Where's Paul and where's Richard? Cameras will be on as we stream on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
The link is on our YouTube channel. It says join the show. It's Friday. The link is there.
Yeah, man.
All right, please mute all of the audio feeds. That is website, YouTube, TuneIn, and so on. And you can join our feed as we stream YouTube. This is where you'll be interacting with us. You join the show as a co-host, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the story. The number of new coronavirus cases rose by 18% in the last week, with more than 4.1 million cases reported globally. It says these cases, COVID-related deaths increased in 3 regions: the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and the Americas. The biggest weekly rise in new COVID-19 cases was seen in the Middle East, where they increased by 47%. So this has to be concerning for the international, the world community, that COVID is just not going anywhere.
Here, we have to live with it. Of course, today also, if you're coming to TNT today, no need to do the travel pass, no need to get a PCR antigen test, to just come on in.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's true, because I would have assumed, I'm assuming that how are they treating with the issue of vaccinations too, for people who coming in? Because to leave by certain airlines, you must show a vaccination card. But is it that you can come in without showing a vaccination card now?
Yes.
You can.
But if there's no requirement for testing,
Yeah. No, but that's testing because even leaving now, there's no requirement for testing, right? But you still have to show
unless the
your
airline
vaccine.
requires it.
Right, but you still have to show your vaccination card. I know
Okay,
that
but
for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, it is. It is confusing, I would imagine. I would imagine the unvaccinated people gonna make some noise soon. You know? They're gonna make some
Well,
noise.
I don't think it's fair that unvaccinated people should not be allowed to travel. If the country that they're going to doesn't require vaccination, what are you
Yeah.
penalizing them for? They made a decision about their lives, and that's fine. You have no requirement for testing to come in to be COVID negative. So you understand? Why should
Yeah.
there be a requirement to be
To
vaccinated?
be vaccinated. But clearly they see because remember the Americas and the UK are heavily vaccinated. Right? So maybe they see that as they're not going to relax on that. They're going to insist that you be vaccinated, but we're not going to test you. We're not asking you for a test, and we're not asking you to wear your mask right through. But at least come into our place vaccinated.
That is at opposition to our constitutional mandate of equal treatment. You understand?
Yeah.
Because I made a decision, and I'm all for vaccination. I mean, let's put it on the table, as we've always said. But you cannot be treating me differently at that level because I've made the decision not to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's unfair, and it's against our ethos of equal treatment for all people. You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't think that will be fair.
Yeah. I think there will come a day when they'll do away with everything. But I gather that for not, well, the UK, you don't have to prove that you're vaccinated again. You can jump on a plane and go anywhere in Europe.
They're over it.
Yeah. But America
but as you said, they're a heavily vaccinated jurisdictions.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's probably why they decided to go that way.
Excuse me.
We'll see. So have we gotten anybody on us yet?
We're talking about the police situation this morning with the PCA report. And you want to try David West? I know he'd like to talk about these things. He makes a statement, and he's such a frustrated. He's just so frustrated by the police response. And no matter who is commissioner, it seems that he just has a tough time trying to fulfill the mandate of the PCA, which is accountability. Yeah. Don't anybody say they don't want accountability.
It's about the police officers at the end of the day,
But the police service, they don't want accountability. They don't want that kind of oversight and accountability. They feel they are their own private Idaho, and we will monitor ourselves, we will investigate ourselves, and nobody must know.
Yeah.
Forget everything. We are our own private Idaho. We are the police. You'll have to trust us. No, we don't.
Yes.
We would like to. We would like to trust you. We should trust you. You understand? But sometimes your actions or the actions of some of your members don't inspire trust.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, and I would say it plainly.
Yeah.
Sometimes the actions of some of your members do not inspire trust. They don't imbue trust at all.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, by the whole service is tarnished by the actions of these few. You don't know who is who. You don't know how far it goes. You don't know who connected to who. You don't know who protecting who. You don't know who is who batch.
Yeah.
And when the commissioner jumps out himself and without the benefit of the facts of an investigation, says that, well, he has done good account, I'm paraphrasing here, that the person of interest, Mr. Romney at the time, is the one who seems to have shot the officer. I mean, and then the whole thing turned out to be not so.
Yeah.
And then when he tells us, well, kicking is not part of the protocol, no. But you never know how you'll feel when you get in the minute, in the moment. And then when Alexander says, seeming to imply that, well, slapping is part of protocol.
Yeah, you saw that on a video?
Oh, don't get me started with that one again.
Lincoln sent that for me, and I didn't see that before.
Send it for me. I didn't see it. Send it for me, please.
And it's in a group, Wendell, because I really didn't see it.
Yeah, I say.
And the mover situation, it's like, really? It's a real story.
Yeah, I say, wow. Let me send this. Let me send this. When I saw it, I said, this can't be real, man. And as I say, we have a senior officer who's on.
But I understand it with human behavior. If a particular mindset is telegraphed by your superiors, you sometimes, well, I'm a back covered, you know. You understand? You all can join us now. What's my friend from last week? What's her name? She was in her bed.
Zena is the bed person. Zena is the blanket person. She's the blanket person.
No. This is the person who has the phone repair company. Don't get in our business, sir.
Oh, somebody who said, and I got the feedback that she glad Wendell not there or something.
What?
And she glad Wendell not in her bedroom or something. I think so. Didn't somebody say that last week?
Last week?
Yes, the same person Paul talking about.
I can't remember what I did yesterday.
Is that true? I got reports, you know. Morning, Cheryl Sibrat. Listening as always. Morning, and thanks for joining us. You could join us on screen one morning.
Yep, you can join us in our Zoom meeting. Just go to the link. It's on our YouTube channel. You just look for Power 102 FM Trinidad on YouTube. You'll see subscribe, and you can join the link. And of course, we'll be taking your calls as well at 222-8255, 612-8255. Toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099. That's our numbers directly into our studio. All right. Good morning to Ron. Good morning to Darren.
You know, let's talk a bit about that video of that.
Hold on, before you start, I have a long distance call.
Oh, you do? Okay, let's
see. Long distance, overseas. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Big guy here from Far Rockaway.
Hey, big guy, what's going on? I see you joining us on YouTube.
Now, I'm working in my car today with my laptop. Now, maybe not.
Alrighty.
I called I was going to call, but Mr. Senator Richards took all the words out of my mouth.
Oh.
I was going to call up the commissioner jumping ahead and making statements before investigation was done, which is very wrong. You have to wait till the investigation. And then also, with respect to, the kicking, when you all had him on the last time, Senator Richards asked him a question about the kicking, if it's part of protocol. And while he was talking, he was trying to be very evasive. And at the same time, Wendell came in and asked him, and he was very evasive again. And I found out that was really, really, really out of place for you to say that.
To be fair, I didn't get that he was evasive. I got he said definitively, no, it's not part. When we pressed him, no, it's not part of the police protocol. But he put the caveat about you never know how you'll feel in the heat of anything, which was really ridiculous to me.
Right. I'm now hearing this one. You're saying that Mr. Alexander, Assistant Superintendent Alexander, I think, said that that's the procedure. Is that what Wendell just said?
That what? Sorry?
Did you just say something about Mr. Alexander stated that kicking is part of the training?
No, I didn't say that. Yeah.
No, we were talking about an incident where a police officer
was not part of the training.
And they said that depending on the circumstance, they could understand. They almost seem to justify it under some circumstances, which is total BS to me.
Yeah.
For trained police officers in the 21st century. Good morning, Lincoln.
Yeah. Thanks, big guy. All the best to you.
It's totally, that's not in this time. You don't do that in these times. Someone said it's like some backyard country, some third world country where you have no rights. That's what it looks like. You have no rights. That's what it looks like. But I just called to mention that. To wish you all a beautiful weekend. But we have a 3-day weekend up here.
Yeah, you and Canada have a 3-day weekend.
Canada too?
Canada Day is today.
Oh, okay. Well, I was this Monday. Apologize, Monday. And I already seen police parked up all over.
Barbecue weekend.
Let's have it. Huh?
Yeah.
Barbecue weekend.
We come in for some barbecue by
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah. No problem. Hot
Light
dog
up the
and,
pit.
everything works. All right.
All right, big guy. All the best here.
Let me tell you what's dangerous about those scenarios, eh?
Thank you. Take care.
If you have clear guidelines and hold the officers to clear responses to these situations. And I'm not saying they're going to do it in Trinidad and Tobago. So those who want to jump out themselves after, I'm not saying. But if you don't have clear guidelines and hold officers to clear guidelines on how you should respond to exigent circumstances, you know, them white officers in the States who want like to put the knee on people's neck could say, well, depending on the circumstance, I could hold them down so, you know. And that's what's dangerous about not having clear guidelines to certain responses.
But they do
police. Yeah. Well, apparently not, Wendell.
They do.
All right, let's
I don't know.
bring in Lincoln
I'm
Foxtrot on
actually
Zoom.
seeing
Good
you.
morning, Lincoln.
I'm actually seeing you right here this morning. I never saw that before.
Because you know what to look for. Good morning, guys. Paul, you're absolutely correct. And here what the TTPS does to circumvent justice. Well,
Wait, is there a police stop? Richard have one there? I get frightened there, yes?
We need to let the investigation take its course. Unfortunately, the investigation in Trinidad and Tobago does take 20 years. You don't hear about an investigation happening, but you don't hear about the findings of the investigation. This is probably the first time I've ever heard the PCA have a findings on an issue so quickly.
So quickly, yeah.
And I must commend them for that.
Well, the autopsy would have helped them a lot. I mean,
And the autopsy would have contributed
Yeah.
significantly to that as well, too. Yeah.
yeah. You know, it was clear the man was shot behind his head and from close range. That's what the autopsy
It
said.
was indisputable. You can't deny. And the problem with Paul, you're absolutely correct with the statement this morning. The mother, I was saying that from the time it happened, the mother and the son we should have been hearing on the news that the state is now being taken to court for malicious intent, for the defamation of character, for all the different charges you could have find, because all you hunt down my child under the presumption that under the false allegation that he killed a police officer.
But strange enough,
my child was saying when he was on the run, the police that got shot turned around and say, "Boy, you shoot me, boy."
But the head of the police service endorsed that perspective at the time.
yeah. You know what's strange? You know what's strange, guys? And I may have missed it. If you all could help me, have we heard anything from PC Jones's family at all? Have they said anything?
That is another. You see,
No,
the problem is not the family didn't say anything. You know, the problem is journalists doesn't go to the right people to ask the right to do the right interviews.
I would like to hear what the family has to say.
If journalists and put a mic in front of their mouth.
Yeah. But
Now, I think if one family deserves the $1 million compensation,
definitely,
it's the family of PC Chilps.
Definitely.
Because not only was he killed in the line of duty, he was killed from the bullet of a fellow officer. And it is unintentional. It seems unintentional from all information. But if a family deserves that $1 million and qualifies for it, is that officer's family.
And it should be done expeditiously.
Yeah. Which
because
is
the last time I
why
heard about it is like there's a lot of logistics where that is concerned.
Yeah. Which is why, guys, you tend to think, all right, let's put a scenario in front of you. You're driving down the highway and all of a sudden someone runs out in front of you. There's a walkover and they run in front of you and you knock them down. You understand? That's an accident. Right? It's an accident that you are not responsible for at the end of the day, right? Because you would have been driving your merry way and all of a sudden someone shuts out in front of you. And we've had many incidents like that before, right? Why would you not say that is what happened? Why would you not say that it was an accident? This person all of a sudden ran out in front of me. Why would you not say that? Why would you say well,
Somebody
I never
pushing.
see that person. I thought it was a
Somebody
dog.
pushing.
Oh, why would you go down the road of
Let's
making
bring it
up a
home
story?
and say that as we said earlier on in the 6 o'clock hour, the officers in that group would have known that PC Jilks was shot in the back of his head. Right? Now, in those sorts of scenarios, several things could be happening. Right? To be fair to the officers in the conversation. He could have turned around. You understand? He could have looked back to say, fellas, he going that way. You understand? There's several scenarios that could have played out. But one of the scenarios is also that maybe one of our bullets hit him also.
Yeah.
And you will also know, I'm presuming, if you're an officer with experience, when bullets actually being fired at you or not.
Yeah. You're supposed to know that.
Paul, let me expound on that, because one of the scenarios there, in my experience and my training, is totally impossible. When being fired upon, there are two things you do. Make yourself a smaller target and engage in whoever is firing upon you. One thing that you definitely do not do is turn around to tell anybody anything.
I agree with that. But I'm saying you never know. Somebody may be not trained or experienced, they may panic, so you never know. I'm saying there are several scenarios that could have accounted for the officer being shot and falling to the ground. But what I'm saying is that they were so adamant it was this young man. There was no other possibility.
Yeah.
Because the trajectory of the TTPS is to take a default position that somebody else is to blame rather than them.
Yeah.
That's the default position. And it's a default position with everything in terms of the rogue element in the TTPS and what they do. For example, that issue in Mova, where they are allegedly going to charge 18 police officers. We saw all of the video and all sorts of things. You saw the police trying to move a camera so that they are less transparent. I don't even know if the country understood or rationalized enough that a police officer was taking a stick to move a camera so that they could be less transparent about their duty to serve and protect citizens of the country. All of that was part of that MOVA scenario.
If
So there's a default position that they take in certain things, and the hierarchy falls in line with that default position until they spy in your face.
Yep.
If you're doing the right thing, there is no reason for you not to want to be on camera.
Exactly.
Want to avoid being on camera.
Exactly. Which takes us down the age-old rabbit hole of body cams.
I was just going to say that.
That
That is why.
I didn't have to see. Because I be criticized every day on Beyond the Tape program, because they refer to me as the body king man sometimes, and I anti-police. And from the time you highlight wrongdoing in the police service, Alexander seems to push the narrative that you're supporting the criminal element or you're anti-police.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the
You understand?
transparency actually does the reverse. The transparency actually is going to build confidence in the TTPS, build confidence in your processes. And if mistakes were made and you are transparent about the mistakes, that builds trust. It builds trust and confidence.
You have a learning curve that you can now improve on.
Because a whole bunch of police officers are going to find themselves in trouble now for what possibly was just an accident,
It's
Yes.
just an accident, but
They're all going to lose. They're all possibly going to lose their job and be charged because of what was an accident. And if they all come together and say, "Well, listen, yes, we engaged the person, but we accidentally shot our colleague." I don't know that this would have gone the way it clearly is going. You understand?
And how we implicate, how much people implicate now. I'm assuming 4 people was on the raid. You go on, and you fabricate the story to the sergeant in the station who wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell here the wrong story. It went all the way up the ladder to the commissioner of police.
Yeah.
In a real country, the commissioner of police would have had to resign.
Yeah. He's vicariously responsible.
I always use this example in the Iran war. 4 soldiers sodomized a prisoner with a baton. It was video recorded.
Yeah.
I don't know if you all remember this.
I remember that.
A general, get the rank, a general.
Your silence, your mic.
Had to resign.
Yeah.
Amado Diallo.
Charge of those men.
Amado Diallo is the guy's name.
No. He was because he in charge. He in the Pentagon. He not in direct control. He in the Pentagon in the United States, and he had to resign for the dotage actions of 4 soldiers in Iraq. In a real country,
But we don't have that kind of accountability in this country.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, what is disturbing about what was disturbing, which I found so out of character, quite frankly, for him, for Acting Commissioner Jacobs, is that how he jumped out and defended, clearly based on how the men misled him. So now my question is, who else misleading you? About what? Because it can be more serious than a high-profile incident involving an officer's death.
One of your own.
It can be more high-profile and sensitive than that.
Yeah.
That is as high-profile and sensitive as it gets because an officer died in the line of duty. So one would imagine that an officer who understands the protocol and the process and the importance of waiting for the factual interpretation of an investigation into a high-profile, sensitive situation would hush your mouth until the investigation finish. As they like to say, the investigation is ongoing, we cannot comment. And also and now we've come to the point, which is very disturbing to me, where we are trying to discredit the work of the PCA.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does David West, or what do David West and the PCA have to gain by being biased? And if they're biased about this, we might as well scrap the PCA. Because you're trying to introduce a doubt of incredibility with the PCA, which is constitutionally formed to independently investigate police misconduct.
Yeah.
And you're saying that they bias, like that's something to gain? Really? As a matter of fact, I think the PCA was very kind because they give the acting commissioner a blight. They say, well, they misleading that way he talks sharpness.
Yeah. Yeah, and which is the part of the report I can't understand. A man with all that experience, easily misled like that to come out into the public.
You don't buy that he was misled, Wendell.
Huh?
You don't buy that he was misled.
No, I don't. I don't. I know I've been around too many police officers, senior and junior. I've been around too many of them.
Well, you're saying that he wasn't misled. He was in fact supporting the wrongdoing.
He just fall in line to the culture of the police service. That's the culture of the police service. Gary Griffin did it. Gary Griffin wasn't part of the police service. He never came up to the ranks of the police service. When he was commissioner, he fell in line in a few instances with the culture of the police service.
Defend action first, ask questions later.
You're right.
Oh my God.
Which is why
Gary Griffin was commissioner with the 3 men in Muhayan.
Yes.
All right.
So
which is why
Gary Griffin was commissioner with the fall of the chair, you know.
By the way, that incident that was clearly caught on video, still on the investigation, they're doing inquiries.
Yeah.
Right? Up to now, we see a man come out, a tall man come out with his hands in the air. Right? I don't know, the man was out of the vehicle, I don't know how that man ended up dead. But you see, a gun was pulled and everybody dead in the vehicle. The man who out of the vehicle now with the hand up in the air ended up dead. That was a clear case of assassination. And they don't like to hear them words being used, but that is what it is.
You know, I'm going to say something here that is highly controversial. Right? I'm going to say something here.
Hold on, wait. Go ahead.
Somebody
No, I'm
punch
just
report
saying.
man.
I'm just saying. Many years ago, a man walk out after doing something one of the most dastardly acts in Trinidad and Tobago with his hand in the air. And everybody keep quiet.
All right. Let's say good morning. Good on to Miss Ingrid. Good morning to
Ragoobarsingh,
Cheryl
take the camera.
Seabrath.
What's that?
Ragoobarsingh, take up the camera to it.
I'm telling you, where they going? I sure they support. I sure they understand the statement I just made.
All right. Let me just acknowledge a couple of people we have on. Onaid, good morning to Carol Guevara. Good morning. I said Miss Ingrid. Who else I've got on?
Anthony Tinto.
Cheryl Tinto
He was
is
on
on.
holiday
Good
today.
morning to you.
Oronde Timothy is also online.
It just, all this does is it further erodes public trust and confidence in the police.
Yeah.
Which is already bad.
Yeah. And it's
all it-
and it's very unfortunate
it's really
because
unfortunate.
yeah, it's very unfortunate because citizens, by and large, want the TTPS to succeed.
Of course.
They
I
want-
want,
they
I want
want
the
you to
TTPS to
be-
succeed.
We
We
want you to be
depend on
as efficient as possible. We want you to succeed.
We depend on the TTPS. I have been in praise with them because, and I was to say this morning, every morning I come down the road, let's say between 4 and 5, right? And I'm seeing an improvement in the patrols, police visibility on the
positioning of
East-West
them.
corridor.
In the
I
positioning
see
of
them,
them.
Yeah.
and
All
I
right,
think that's commendable.
let's
So
grab
you
this
know
call.
that there are dedicated officers out there who will go out there to ensure that they make themselves visible and make themselves available to us, because we need them. The first person.
All right.
that they-
Hang on,
what is
Wendell.
police.
Let's grab this call. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I think you all need to correct one thing that you all keep repeating about the 18 officers that are being charged. That was expressed on the media. But there was a press release on the Police Corporate Communications Unit that dispelled that, and the investigation is still ongoing. And actually, it was false information that was given to the media itself. But I haven't seen the media retracted their information that they stated, but there's no truth to that aspect.
What we said, I could say what we said. We said the article I saw that stated as
It was
many as
24.
24 officers
Yeah, it was 24.
could possibly
Face charges.
face charges.
Yeah, that's what we said.
What I-
Could possibly.
What I am saying is that I haven't seen the two articles that was written on the two newspaper came out and refute or made an apology to that aspect in terms of misleading.
Well, I don't work for the newspaper, so I can't say.
Nice thing. The second thing, what was disturbing in your conversation this morning, is where it is that you are alluding to that the police commissioner of police is in collude with the officers in terms of cover up.
Nobody ever said
No,
that.
nobody did that.
Nobody
did
implied that at all.
Wendell, when you said that, or you know that you fall in line with. If you could play back the thing that you all said this morning, that is why I called.
I said that I believe he has fallen in line. I said that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it in the context of any officer, because it's a fallback position that they all take until, as we said, the egg blows up in the face.
Mm.
That's the impression you get when you hear them say the things that they say. You hearing the same thing I hear, you know?
Yes, but I know that we have one or two.
But hold on.
Correct.
Ulrich Skerritt, who is the attorney for 3 of the officers, also said, I saw the PCA report, and in our opinion, the PCA appears to have conducted a somewhat biased investigation. We say this because the PCA has not spoken to the 3 individuals. He also went on to say, is it that the commissioner has taken a particular approach to this and made a statement to the PCA saying that these are the men who misled him? I find it passing strange. That's also in Ulrich Skerritt's comment.
Is he personal lawyer for the officers, or is he a lawyer for the police service?
He's a lawyer for 3 of the officers.
Right, so he cannot speak on behalf of the police service itself. And that's my point. So he must disassociate the two. Right?
Well, he is also wondering the same thing, you know.
But he can
Well,
wonder.
he is doing what he's supposed to. He's acting on behalf of his clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You see, the TTPS as an
Thank you, caller.
institution, and I suppose, Wendell, you are right. The TTPS as an institution generally has a coalescing default position of
Blue wall. The blue wall.
Yes,
We
the
see
blue
that.
wall.
They
They call it
create a
like
whole
that's what they
movie
call it, the
doing
blue
that.
wall.
Yeah.
And it's not exclusive to trying to be a police
No,
service.
it's not exclusive to us. It happens around the world in terms of police departments. But the issue of transparency, the issue of getting better, the issue of accountability and serving and protecting citizens in a way that's constitutionally permissible, all of those issues are only possible with proper and clear transparency.
Yeah.
And the TTPS seems to have a default position of not wanting transparency.
Yeah.
I say it seems because we talk about it all the time on this program. What is the hesitancy for years under different commissioners of police?
Body cams.
The issue of body cams.
Yeah. No, we know why.
One police commissioner could have accomplished that. Not one.
Let me also say, as a defense attorney, I am presuming, because of the gravity of the situation, who knows? Maybe they were advised not to talk to nobody, including the PCA.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Like you
I
just get
said
some
maybe, yeah?
Paul, like you just get some information on your phone there. Or what?
It seems that way, huh?
No, but I read something just now,
Mike went off there, Paul.
that says one of the recommendations of the PCA was to interview under caution certain police officers involved in the shooting death of Jerks. So you know what that says? That says that you need to be careful when you're speaking to them, and you need to caution them that even though you're speaking to them, that they could face whatever recrimination comes out.
Yeah.
Is that what it means, Richard?
Let me tell
Yeah,
you what
basically.
I believe. The PCA would never have done such an investigation and not speak to the people directly, or not request to speak to the
Not
people
attempt.
directly involved in
Attempt
the
to speak.
shooting.
Yeah.
They would have refused.
But if I were the
part in
defense,
the
I would tell
investigation.
them, if I were the defense attorney, I would say to talk to nobody.
Right, but
Right.
no, it is disingenuous to say that the PCA didn't talk to them, and you didn't allow them to speak to the
But
people.
it is
but we
not.
know that's
It is
true.
not disingenuous to say it. It is accurate to say my clients did not speak to no PCA. It is not disingenuous. I don't have to give you the whole context.
Right. So, but you see, to the general population, it serves the purpose.
But what I would ask the attorney is, did the PCA make a request to speak with your clients? I am not at liberty to discuss that, sir.
Yeah.
But we have interviewed the PCA
Right.
before. We have interviewed David West and what was the girl, Richard?
Michelle Solomon Bash.
Michelle Solomon Bash on several occasions. And they have reported to us how much challenges they face in speaking to police officers.
No matter who is
That's a
commissioner.
fact.
All right, gentlemen, let's say good morning going out to Gloria Gray. Good morning, Doreen Pierre. Is that D. Pierre? What's that one there? Bryson? Charmaine? Good morning to you, Sabita.
BSA.
Yeah, I guess.
Beta BSA. Good morning, guys. First time on YouTube, so very welcoming to see your faces. Have a great day and weekend. This is Trini Jam.
All right,
And you-
Trinity Jam, thank you
And
so much.
I know there are many people out there under the blanket saying, all you're doing this morning is bashing the police, the same police, or you go call when you're in trouble.
Yeah, and because that's what
We have
that's
a
what
right
they're
to
for as an institution.
demand transparency and accountability. And this whole scenario, they have too much of that, eh?
Yeah.
And if we don't do this, it would not get better.
Yeah.
It
But what
would
if it
only
happens?
get
What if
worse.
it happens in America and in Europe when police run afoul of the law? What if it happens? They are criticized, and we continue to depend on them to protect and serve, because that's the oath that they took, to protect and serve with pride. So when you see a police officer kicking up a man or slapping up a man or shooting down citizens, you're supposed to keep quiet and say, well, oh God, I need them. No.
Wendell, did you share the video in your group?
Yeah, I shared it.
Slap?
Yes, I shared it.
I didn't watch it yet, but yes. All right.
The man was slapped
I did
about
watch it.
probably 10 times in 2 different occasions. The man was being escorted to the station. And while you're walking with the man, you felt him cloud like if it's your child.
But you have to remember, Acting Commissioner Jacob told us on this show in relation to the officers, the 2 officers who were seen in the video kicking the man, that it is not protocol. He does not condone it, but
Anytime you have to use but in that
you
statement,
don't know how
I
you will
call
act in them circumstances.
I
So
call the
maybe
program
under
the
some
Monday program.
circumstances you might jump out yourself and kick the man in the head.
I called Beyond the Tape program yesterday to make that contribution and ask the question why it is you all can't simply condemn the actions of a police officer and leave it there.
But Lincoln,
Why
you always
does
make
it
it back
always
and
have to
all
be a but?
you always
Or
make it
a
back and all be on the tape.
25?
Lincoln, you always
Pardon?
make it back and all be on the tape. Or?
Always, and let's live in them.
Let me be very sarcastic.
Yeah.
I now understand why they call it beyond the tape.
Oh, jeez. Lincoln, I want to thank you so much for joining us as we wrap up our Zoom link this morning.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Have a good weekend. Be safe.
Did we greet Leonard Naipaul,
Yeah, we
Trini in
did.
Boston, and Dave Gosine? Good morning, and thanks for joining us on YouTube.
And while we are here, we should congratulate and uplift all the honest, hard-working police officers who do not go beyond.
The tape.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I said beyond the law.
And I know several of them.
Who do not go, and there are several I know who have always done good work, who have stayed within the law and have not gone beyond.
The tape.
I like
The
that
law.
play on words, Paul.
Good morning, Jasma Gold. Good morning to you. All right. Real name Joanna Robinson. Now we know.
Where's Avril St. Hilbab?
She's making coffee to spill. I'm just saying that's what
They
she's doing.
did such great work for the potential storm coverage that I treated them well yesterday. You didn't do no work, so you
But I
don't
get
even think
pizza?
you don't qualify.
Pizza?
Where did they get
Don't say pizza, you know.
You don't get involved in
Don't
what
say
happened and what they
pizza, you
got.
know, Paul.
You didn't do any work for the store,
I will
so you
cut
didn't
you off.
qualify. You did not qualify.
No, we can offer a slice. What do you?
I never said I bought pizza. You're presuming again. Here you go.
I
with your
am presuming that you bought
your
pizza.
food obsession. I have to give you a debriefing. You know, there's something going on in your psyche that needs to be debriefed and untangled and made whole again. There's certainly some kind of psychosis or neuroticism going on there. You're compensating for something with food. 8 o'clock. News is next.
Where you see news next? You want an empty chair.
They'll read the news. I'm sure it's on the iPad.
So, here
Oh,
comes Billy.
I'm sure they sent the news. Remember,
No, they didn't send any news.
no, they didn't send the news to me either.
They didn't send any news. All right, let's get into our news brief. All powered by Chamfrey Auto Services.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Acting Commissioner of Police MacDonald Jacob wishes to give the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, especially of Rich Plain Diego Martin, the assurance that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will adhere to the rule of law regarding the investigation into the fatal shooting of PC Clarence Jilks. Via a release this morning, he said the lead investigator, Senior Superintendent Chandul, together with investigators from the Professional Standards Bureau, are still actively investigating the incident. Yesterday, the Police Complaints Authority said members of the TTPS abused their power and deliberately misled the acting commissioner